All right, hopefully we're alive. How do I check this? Mm-mm-mm. All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Great to see you guys. Hi, Robert. Good afternoon. Welcome. Okay, awesome. So exciting. Okay, here we go. I'll make myself a little bit bigger for you guys. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to meet you. It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me today. It's really nice of you guys to spend some time during your day to come and spend it with me learning something new. Some of you guys are beginners and you've never learned about any of this stuff. Some of you guys have kind of been in the space a little while. You guys have been following me. You've been possibly with another company with us, all of that kind of stuff. Hello, friends. Welcome. So, I want to introduce myself first. My name is Ashley. I also go by Ash Barks. You'll see those kind of usernames around for me. But I've been in the day trading space now for about 5 years. I kind of stumbled upon this, just happened to be when the time was right for me. I was on maternity leave and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do to make money afterwards. I really didn't want to go back to the place that I had been working at before. Lots of issues there anyways. So I was like, what else can I do? So I kind of was just going through Indeed and the job sites and all that kind of stuff, trying to determine what it was that I wanted to do. And I saw my friend posting that he was learning this day trading thing. He was a manager at a restaurant. That's all he had ever done. That's how I knew him. And I was just completely mind boggled that he was not working at a restaurant. He was at home doing this day trading thing. And I was like, what? Like, how do I get involved in this, right? Like, tell me the secret. So he's like, yeah, just jump on this call with me and blah, blah, blah. And basically the rest is history. So that's when I started learning how to do day trading. I learned from the very beginning on, all the different things that you have to go through in the beginning, which I'll be showing you a little bit on here, and expanding throughout the week as well. And I'll show you guys my strategy and where I'm at now. But, over the last 5 years, it's been a rocky road. There's been lots of ups, there's been lots of downs, lots of blown accounts. I don't even know how many. So it's just like one of those things that as you're learning, be in a demo account, okay? Don't go live too early. You don't need to do that. Be in a demo account. I'm going to show you how to set up a different type of demo account today too. I'll show you on MetaTrader and on TradingView, so then you can start doing the thing without putting any of your own money in, because that's just the thing you need to do, is learn what you got to do first before you're starting investing. So learn by me and don't invest too early, and get the knowledge in of knowing what to do and being in the right space and all of that stuff. So I'm going to cover all of those things today. Throughout this week, I'm going to cover more things too, different strategies that you can know. There's so many out there. So this will be one of those things that you guys can go and take away and do a little bit of your own research afterwards and see where you want to be and what you want to do and where this world can take you. Day trading is like trying to drink from a fire hose. You got to take little sips or else you're going to get blown away, So there's lots of aspects to this stuff that you guys will learn and explore on. And then anytime you guys have questions, just ask me. Never feel like you're asking a dumb question or anything. Hi, Brent, welcome. Just ask the questions anyways. Even if you think somebody already asked the question, just keep going anyways, all right? So yeah, welcome. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna minimize my video here a little bit, so I don't take up the whole screen. Okay, so day trading basics. Welcome. Your essential introduction to day trading terminology. So you want to master foundational concepts before you ever place any of your trades. And all of this is for financial purposes. It's not exactly financial advice. What you do with this afterwards is completely up to you. This is me just sharing some knowledge that I have learned through other mentors, and I would love to pass it on to you guys just as, something nice to do for sure. So our core trading terms when we're talking about the market is the first things are pricing and positions. So a pip is the measurement of the price movement of a currency pair. So in the market, we're trading currency pairs, whether that's USD JPY, that's a Forex pair, or we have USD BTC, that one's a crypto pair. There's lots of different types, gold, commodities, all that kind of stuff, right? So the measurement of the price movement is what the pip is. So we usually talk about it all in numbers. So, you have a 0.04 whatever. You have a bunch of different numbers, and that discrepancy between the different numbers is going to be the measurement and what you consider a pip, or 10 pips, or 100 pips, or 1,000 pips. And that's usually the lingo that we talk in on how good of a trade you had that day. How many pips did you catch? Typically, depending on how your risk is on your account, if you catch 30 pips, you could be getting 3% in your account in a day. And that's typically what we do when we're scalping. So I'll expand on that more once we keep going, but for now, the lot size is now your next most important thing when you're trading. So that is the volume of your trade. When you're in your broker, whether that's on TradingView or MetaTrader, which are other things we'll touch on soon, it's a volume of your trade. So you could have a 0.01 and it be 10 cents. It could be $1. It could be $10. You just have to check with your broker before you place any trades. What is a 0.01 per pip cost in my broker? So if we're trading on US 30, for example, sometimes some of those brokers are $1 per pip. So you have to have at least $1,000 in your account to place one trade that's 0.01. And we do that kind of as a rule of thumb, so you're never over risking your account by too much. We usually say anywhere you're wanting to risk between 1 and 5%. So typically not any more than that. And we do that because that just gives you a lot of room to make up a better amount of trades. And you want to have that over time, right? You can't just go, oh, I'm going to take 2 trades, I'm going to be rich forever, like that kind of thing. This is something that works with compound interest and compounding your wins and your lot size numbers. And all of this is kind of just a big math equation in the end, but something that I can help you guys with when we get there. So you have different assets, and these are different tradable instruments like currencies, commodities, stocks. Some examples are like gold, US 30, which is the Dow Jones, USD, JPY, that's one of those Forex pairs, US oil, German 30, NAS 100. There's so many different assets out there that you can trade. You just got to kind of find one. We like to say that if you can find one of the pairs and you can learn exactly how it likes to move and you have fluency in it, you can make more than $1 million on just that one pair. So we have a mentor, Jason Bonham. He trades US 30 and US 30 only. He doesn't care what the other charts are doing. His strategy works well on the other charts, but he has just honed in on US 30 that he knows exactly how that thing moves. So like we trade with him every single morning, and like he's like a 95% accurate trader just because he knows exactly what to expect at a certain time from this pair. So this is one of those things that you can start specializing in. You pick one and you go with it. It's so hard to go and you pick 5 different pairs and try to watch them. It's one of the hardest things to do ever. So risk management also plays along inside of this lot size that I was telling you guys about. But your stop loss is your number one most important thing when it comes to trading. Stop loss is where you're going to get pulled out of your market, and it's managing your risk. So say I'm going to be okay with losing $25 on this trade if I was to gain $50. That's what our risk to reward we like to have as a 2-to-1 ratio in most of our trading strategies, as that gives you a better average over time. If you could lose 2 and win 2, you're still up substantially. So it's one of those things that you can use to your benefit is risk to reward. And their stop loss is one of those things that guarantees that amount of risk to reward for you. You could also think of your stop loss as your mom. This is one thing I like to call. She's your mom. She always has your back. No matter what, she's going to be there. She's going to be in place. She's going to make sure that you're taken out and you're safe at that spot. And that's really valuable when it comes to trading, because one of the worst things that you can ever do is hold on to a losing trade. And it keeps going and you keep moving that stop loss, or you don't even have one in general. Terrible way to trade, okay? Take it from me. I've traded that way. Don't do it, okay? Your stop loss is like your mom. She's got your back. Sometimes it takes a little bit of mindset work to work around all these things to get there. But very important piece of the puzzle, if not one of the most important. So that's why I listed it as number one here. Your take profit is going to be your second most important piece of the puzzle here. That's going to be where the market takes you out at your profit level. So like I was saying, the 2-to-1 risk to reward, say you're risking $25 or 25 pips in your stop loss, but in your take profit, you want 50 pips or $50 as you're winning, right? It'll take you out at that point in the market. So really, you're just looking to pinpoint your entry, so then you hit your take profit more times than you would hit your stop loss. And depending on your strategy, that can be very likely depending on your rules and all of those things. So some other things that we'll cover on later on, but your break even point. So this is another thing we like to talk about is when we're mitigating our risk, we move our stop loss to our entry so we have a risk-free trade. So say we're looking for those 50 pips. We're going to move our stop loss to our break even point when it's at like 25 pips. So we're securing just our break even. We're not going to be losing anything if the market reverses on us. We then also have our stop and profit, and this is where you would take that stop loss and move it to like 10 pips in profit. And why do you do that? It would just to begin to guarantee some portion while you're waiting for it to hit your final take profit. Sometimes you can have take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, take profit 4, and have kind of a system of how you would move your stop loss from 1 to 2 to 3 as the market pushes up through to your stop losses or to your profit level, sorry. So there's lots of different terminology in here, but I figured that this is kind of the best place that you can really start to know the important things. You know, what is a pip, your lot size, and how all of this risk management plays in, and how these different positions are very important to just keep them as they are and just hit your levels. Hit your stop loss or hit your profit level or your break even or your stop loss and profit, and you're always going to have good risk management. The number one most important thing when it comes to trading is risk management and capital preservation. These are things that will take you really far in trading because they're so important, and you don't get away on yourself. You don't let some of those bad mindset things creep in on you if you stay strict to your rules. So find some rules for yourself as you learn how to trade and stick to them. They're very, very important. So another thing we like to talk about is trend. The trend is your friend. It just tells you like what the overall direction is as your price is moving through the market. With our strategy, it's really easy to show, to see, or how to show you what the trend is. So I'll show you guys that in a second. And support and resistance are two other very important things that we talk about in trading. It also is kind of also called supply and demand. It's where the market moves and it stops and rejects at these different areas, and it creates kind of a level to where there's buying pressure enters or where selling pressure enters. And these are different areas that we like to take as reference in the market along with the trend to use as confluence with our strategies. So kill shot. Kill shot is our strategy that I have been using now with Jay for, I don't know, 4 years or something. He developed this after trading naked trading for so long that we're like, okay, we actually need a system on how to like show people how to trade. So like this was a lot easier to talk to people about. But as you see here in this picture, these are the different kinds of signals it shows. There's a red triangle or a blue triangle. That literally is the trend shifting. So right here, it's in a downtrend. Right here, it tried to go up into an uptrend for a couple moments, and then it didn't work, so it went back into a downtrend. Oh, here we're back into an uptrend. So anywhere that's blue is going up, anywhere that's red is going down. That is as simple as it goes. If you can read colors, then you're okay with this strategy. There's obviously a couple other pieces. Tomorrow I'll go more of a deep dive down here on how to like find these positions and use the signals that we get through Telegram to enter these positions and how to manage them with your stop losses and all that kind of stuff too. So, but basically your uptrend is bullish. You're buying or you're going long. This is when the price is making higher highs and higher lows. Or we have a downtrend, also called bearish. This is when we're selling or going short. The price is making lower highs and lower lows. So it's just kind of like the step up or step down in the markets. And if you kind of like think about them as waves in the ocean, you can kind of see as it's pushing back and forth and ebbing and flowing. So that's kind of how we use market direction with Killshot to know what the trend is. So some of the other things that are important are orders and market sessions. So different types of orders that we use while we're trading. There's 5 different kinds. First one is market execution. That one's going to instantly put you into the market that moment if you press that button. So it's very important for you to know that, is this the exact entry that I want to have? Am I scalping? How am I entering? All of that stuff kind of plays into all of this stuff. But right now is when market execution is going to happen. Typically, if you're trading open with us using Killshot, you're going to be using a buy stop or a sell stop. And basically all that this is an entry that's either above or below your current price. And it's just going to come and pick you up once the market gets there. But you can set up your trade and know it's exactly where you want it to be, or you can adjust it, all of that stuff as it's already set up. Same with the limit. So these two things are very similar. They both are an entry above or below the current price, but the way that they work is slightly different. So the stop, think of it like a bus stop. You're here in the market, you're going to come up, you're going to get picked up, and you're going to keep going up to your profit level. Whereas the limit, you're coming down, you're getting picked up, and you're reversing and you're going back to the other direction. So this limits one is used for reversal trading, and stops are used for continuation trading or trend trading. So that's where we kind of fit into number 2. And that is how you can kind of use these different types of orders to trade the way that we do. We also have another strategy that I like to use that's called bullseye, and that one I usually use on gold. But market execution is a lot easier to use for this trade because you need specific confirmations that you're looking for, like specific checks for you to enter. Whereas the buy stop or sell stop, your market could come up to that spot, pick you up, but you're actually not going there because you didn't get your confirmations. And then the next thing I like to talk about is market sessions. So in this little chart here, we have a whole bunch of different market sessions. Sydney is one, Tokyo, London, New York. This is also the best trading time personally, also according to this chart. So London Open is great. New York Open is also wonderful. Typically I trade this little bit of New York Open like right here. You don't have to be on the charts for this entire amount of time. That like is way too long to be on the charts to like have anything good happen. That's how you liquidate your account and revenge trade, is by being on for this long. You don't need to do that. Pick an hour or 2 hours and find a trade or two and move on with your day. You do not need to spend 8 hours on this chart in a day. It is not a job. Having that kind of a mindset is not going to help you here at all. So pick an hour or 2. I just do these couple of hours just in New York Open because that's what time works for me and my family. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have 2 kids and I have to do a whole bunch of taxiing around in the morning. So I only really have like an hour and a half to find a position. So typically I'll take 1 trade, maybe 2 trades a day, and I'm perfectly happy with that. As you gain more money in your account, you can compound more so you can make more each day. And then it kind of like seems more relative in your brain, I guess. But these are the market sessions. You got to pick which one works for your time. If you are in like Europe, London Open is probably going to be better for you. If you're in North America, New York Open is probably going to be better for you. Unless you're a night owl and then you want to trade New York or London, it's completely up to you. And then inside of your broker, you're going to have a whole bunch of different namings. The Dow Jones is like the one that we normally trade with, but it can be called many different things. There's DJI, US 30, DJ 30, Dow Jones, like so many different names in there. So just keep an eye out when you're looking for your pairs on what they could be called for your broker. And now we also get copy paste signals. So this is just from our service provider that we have. We get sent these on Telegram. We have manual copy paste trading like this, where you just get this information. We get ones that have charts. You get ones straight from educators live on show, all of that stuff, whatever. Ideas sent to your phone, semi-automated trading, fully automated trading. There's a whole bunch of different signals that you can get, but this basic type of signal is the type of signal that you're going to get if you pay for any kind of service on Telegram, for example. So just to understand how to copy and paste this into your broker is, first you would receive this kind of a signal. You'd be like, okay, so I need to look at these details. So what's the pair? Okay, XAU USD. That means that that's gold. And hey, Andrew. So gold is here. We're buying it now. So that means market execution. If it said buy stop or buy limit, then you would know it would be one of those pending orders. But this one just says buy now, so you'd be just pressing that button that moment. You'd want an entry somewhere between these two, those two numbers. I don't know how to go back. Oh, here we go. No. I might have to start the whole presentation over again. That's funny. My bad, you guys. And it's gonna take a minute. Oops. Where did it go? Where's the slideshow? That's hilarious. Okay. Maybe I pressed back too many times. Oh, that's funny. Technical difficulties. I felt like I was on such a roll too. Maybe I was talking too fast and needed me to slow down. And that's funny. Intermission. Okay. Okay, so we're taking note of what it says. Buy now, it says. So we are doing market execution trades. We're trying to find an entry in between these two numbers. And now they've given us a stop loss and two different profit levels. So this is handy because you can just plug this in. If you are using the same broker, like this one is usually called off of Oanda, if you're on that same chart on TradingView, you're going to be able to like see where these numbers are, and you can just put it onto your chart and take the exact same values into your broker, or match your candles depending if your broker is off, because some brokers are just a different feed. So then you can just manage while you're following the update. So in the chat, after they've sent you one of these kind of signals, they will update you like, oh, it hit TP1, move your stop loss. Oh, it hit TP2, congratulations. All of those things. So there's lots of different types of copy paste signals, but this is going to be the type of one that you typically would see. Now, I'm going to go over two different things quickly. Maybe not quickly. Please ask questions as I go if you need help with any of these things. But I'm going to show you on TradingView and on MetaTrader how to use both of these programs, and then also how to get set up with a demo account. So MetaTrader and TradingView. I'm going to start with TradingView. So one of these things that we talk about lots while we're using TradingView is a broker. So your chart, when you open tradingview.com, is going to look a little bit different. This is with my strategy on it, or Jay's strategy, the one that we use. I have color coordinated my candles. I've personalized the background, all of those things. This is something that you do. You want to come in here and press all the buttons. You want to learn how this whole program works. This is the desktop version, but the web version is fairly similar. You'd first go to it, then you say open up in Supercharts, make yourself a username on here, and it's basically a charting platform. And what we use TradingView for is just to keep all of our information and our charts and our notes and all of our ideas in one central spot so we can constantly go back and check it. So something that happens in the market is sometimes it does the same thing on a repeat. Oh, it does this, this, and this. It's going to do this. And there's an odds and amount of numbers that you can do, odds, right? That will tell you, okay, yeah, 90% of the time it does this, so I'm going to do this too. And that is one way that you can log it on your charts and keep it for later. So anything I put on this chart, it will keep it, and I can see it tomorrow, I can see it next week, whenever. So come in here and find out how to use it, get yourself set up. But first, what we like to do is set up the watch list. So on the side here, there's this little tag, and it shows you exactly all the different symbols that you can follow. So these symbols are the assets that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So this one is US 30, that's the Dow Jones. NAS 100, that is the top 100 companies of America, NASDAQ, right? We got DXY, that's what the US dollar is doing. US oil. You can click on here and you can add virtually any kind of asset that you want to trade. So you want to trade Bitcoin, you want to trade Tesla, you know, Forex pairs, you can find that. You can find just indices, whatever it is that you want to trade, you can find that here and use whatever strategy you want to use on these charts. So you just kind of build your list based on what you want to look at. So as you can see here, I mainly have commodities and indices. I like those pairs because I like to scalp. I don't want to be trading for longer than an hour or an hour and a half each day. I just personally don't have time for that. Lots of people do. Some people like swing trading and they have that patience to wait in the market and they're going to use it on USD Chef or whatever, right? You just got to find what's your vibe. Personally, for me, I like scalping. So here we are scalping US 30, NASDAQ, and gold. Usually I trade either on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. This strategy, as you can see, is pretty powerful. In here, you can use all these different drawing tools also. You can set alerts. That's what this one down here is. So it will just tell you whatever alert you want. You can set a whole bunch of different alerts in here. There's a bunch of different sections in here. Also, you do not need to pay for this in any way. The free version is fine. You don't have to pay for this. They want to try to upsell you. If you're going to buy it on like Christmas or Black Friday. They'll have like a 50% off deal. Then pay for it then, but make sure you get the discount on it. The rest of the stuff I don't really use on this side. So at the top here, you have just the pair that you're on. You have your amount of minutes per candle here. So on this chart that I'm looking at is a 1 minute chart. Each one of these candles is going to be worth 1 minute. So as you can see from here to here, it took this many minutes. Whereas if I go to the 15 minute, each one of these candles is worth 15 minutes. So it changes what the chart looks like a little bit. As you can see, this chart still just pushed up really high. Like this candle was a lot of pips. What is that? 400 and something pips. 440 pips in one candle. So, I mean, if you were trading the open strategy this morning, Jay's strategy, you could have caught this trade, which would have been awesome. And it's always funny when you go back in time and look at these trades and see what 50 pips looks like. Okay, so here we would have been 6:30. So typically what we want to do is we want to wait for a little bit of pullback after open. And then we risk 50 pips to gain 50 pips. So we use a 1-to-1 strategy at open. Oh, okay, about that. So that would have been our position. Those would have been those pips that we were really happy with. But as you can see, it just like cruised up 440 pips. So depending on how you set this, you can trail your take profit level. Oh, this is way more. Yeah. 600 pips you could have caught up here. So that would have been our strategy at open right there had you been trading open. So the This strategy that we use is very powerful. Jay created this on his own, and now we've mastered how to trade open with it, which is really cool. And then he also has signals that he sends to, so then if the trade follows the rules, you can also enter. That way you're only risking 25 pips to get 50, which is great. But the other stuff that I like to show you guys on here, other than the times of the candles, there's a bunch of different types of candles that you can actually use. So there's bars, there's just regular candles, which you can see here on this chart. That's the one I use because I'm a price action trader. We're looking at the price action. We're looking at what the candles are printing like to decide what we want to do. So typically we're waiting for this to come up here, make a pullback into these EMAs, and as it crosses up over this red EMA to take our position with the buy stop. So quite simple. That's literally it. There's hollow candles, volume candles. There's these ones down here, Hankin ashy candles. I probably brutalized this name, but it shows you more like the trend, if you will. So it's another way to just look at the chart, depending on what you want to see, how you want to trade. There's 100,000 million strategies out there that you can learn how to do any types of trading you want. You just have to find one that works for you. Sometimes it can take a while to narrow that in, and that's why we use demo accounts. You need to use the demo account with the strategy you're working on until you have perfected that strategy and made the decision, is it going to work for me or not? Am I going to work for it or not? Is usually the way that you should rephrase it, because it's usually us that's the problem. We're the ones who don't follow the rules of the strategy. This strategy has rules that are super simple, but like, are we following the rules or am I doing what I want? You know, there's a lot of different things that you can think about while you're trading, but usually you need to work with the strategy. You need to follow the rules, determine what those rules are, and make sure you're in a demo account while you're doing this so you don't waste any of your own money and get discouraged along the way. And then up here at the top, this is your next most important thing in TradingView. This is all the different indicators and strategies that you could find on here. So there's tons of free ones. There's ones that are locked, as you can see here, that I had access to that I don't, or that they changed access. So here it's green, right? But there's a whole bunch of other ones on here that you can just type in something. So say we want smart money. We can just type in smart, and we're gonna find 100,000 indicators here with smart money concepts. And if we know how to use them, then we can use whatever script on here. If you have invite only ones like we do for our group, then I mean, this is where you would find them. Usually you don't get notified, which is kind of annoying, but you can get it just sent here. You just find it there, add it to your chart. Sometimes you have to close your TradingView and reopen it. And then those strategies are going to be able to be put onto your chart. You also over here have kind of some other indicators as well that are going to give you kind of ideas. I personally don't know how to use any of these things. So like I said, there's 100,000 different strategies out there. These are a whole bunch of different patterns that go fit into harmonics. So, or Elliott waves. I personally have never studied those strategies before, so I don't actually know how to use them. There's also Fibonacci. That is another type of strategy or confluence that you can use with your trading. Pitchforks, these GAN ones, like a whole bunch of different things that you can use to give you information while you're trading. Some people also use it as simple as a trend line, where they're like, okay, you know, if it breaks this trend, or here, if it breaks this trend, I'm going to take it for a short, or what have you. You know, there's lots of different ways to trade in here. It's just, again, finding what you like and how you like to trade. There's panels, pitchforks, a whole bunch of things. The ghost feed, bars pattern, VWAP, whole bunch of stuff on here. You could press buttons for all day if you really wanted to spend your time doing that. But the other things that I like to use personally are the long position and short position. And this can just give you like an idea of like, okay, well, what would happen if this was my trade? And then I'm going to go to my broker and I'm going to match this up. So if I'm trading on TradingView, just right here, I could just place the trade and it not be a big deal. But if I'm on MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5, then I have to go in and match these candles up with my broker to make sure, because sometimes this number on the other side does not correspond. So I have to go in and match the candles to make sure that my broker is putting me in the right spot and all of those things. So just important things to know. And sometimes these position boxes can help you determine exactly what you need to know. So it's like, okay, from this entry right here, I want it to be 171 pips, right? Or whatever. Then I'm going to go to my broker. I'm going to put that in. It's going to make my position exactly what I want it to be. So that's an important thing that you can use. And then we also have just the short position. So you can use that over here for this spot. Be like, okay, when it breaks down past here, I want to take this position, and I'm going to take it for 100 pips with my stop loss being 50 pips for a 2-to-1 ratio, you know? So as you can see, there's confluences here. Okay, sure, don't count this trend line here. But it pushed up a whole bunch. And then we kind of found some new directional things. You see here how it's going higher highs, higher lows. And then all of a sudden we're making lower highs and lower lows. So we're changing our direction. So then when we get our signal, we can always try to trade. So the original position would be 25 pip stop. And this would have been hard to trade, but I mean, it's a great position, as you guys can see. Even if you just took this down to the 238, you could have got 80 pips off of this, and you were barely in drawdown. So you would have just had only like one of the, you would have had like no rules. So like the candle wasn't the right color, the 238 and the POC are in the way, and it was off trend. So this would probably be like a completely like do not take this trade idea. But as you can see, it still worked. So it just depends how you like to trade the strategy. But those are basically the only two other things that I use in here. Sometimes I'll draw a rectangle, sometimes I'll draw some lines, sometimes I'll put some text on this. This little tool measures, so it'll tell you, okay, this was 109 pips, but it was 30 bars, so it took us 30 minutes to move that amount, right? If per se it was down here. And that's about it. That's all that we really use on here. But the most important thing other than that is if you come down here, there's a thing called a trading panel. This is where you're going to find a whole bunch of different brokers. So a broker is something that's important for you to have. First, we have the trading platform, but then we have our broker. So sometimes we have two different things. We have our trading platform, and then we also have our broker platform. It depends how you're trading, which your broker is, all of that stuff. So you can sign up for a demo account. This is a paper trading account, brokerage simulator, right? So if you're playing with fake money, you don't have to invest anything of your own money to start this. TradingView is free. You can sign up for the demo account completely free. Start trading on here for free. You don't have to pay anybody any money to do that. It's just once you start getting into your knowledge of where you want to go, and sometimes investing in your education is important. So that's what I have done. I partnered with an educational platform where I've learned all of this stuff, and now I get to teach it all to you guys. So if you wanted to sign up for a paper trading account, you literally click onto here and you follow the prompts. It's as easy as that, and you now have your trade thing. I guess last time I was in here, I lost my trade. So then, say you're ready to go on to having an actual broker. You want to have a demo account with that broker instead of using this demo account. You can come in here and find a broker in this list. It's gonna all be determined on what country you live in and where you're from and all of that stuff. A lot of these don't service everywhere. So Vantage is one. that I have recently signed up for. I'm hoping that I can trade on TradingView. I haven't actually tried that yet. I just put one and two together this moment. Ninja Trader's on here. 8cap, Pepperstone, Fusion, Capital, Questrade, Tradeovate. These are all a whole bunch of different brokers that I've used or friends have used. Again, depends what country you're in if you can use these ones on here. And say you can't determine any of that, then you can just go to MetaTrader. You can find another broker that's on MetaTrader and you'll be good to go. Or they have their own app that you can trade on. So I'm just going to go back into this paper trading account. And when you click on this little button that says trade here, this little trade window pops up. And this is how you actually place your trade. So this is the order type. Buying or selling, what is it that we want to do in the market? And then you have your type. So you have the market execution, which means right now. We have a limit and we have a stop. So the limit is if you're doing reaction trading or rebound trading, right? Stop is continuation. You're just getting stop picked up and keep going. And your units, this is your lot size. So this is how you manage your risk. You would have your take profit and your stop loss, right? Okay, say we're buying, just to keep it easy here. Okay, so say we put this at 1,000 and 1,000. Which does that make sense? No, I think I need another zero in here. Okay, so I'm just going to go buy by market, right? Just as an example here for you guys. I obviously did not plan a single of this thing out and obviously not going the right direction, but whatever. Okay, so anyways, you can see your entry. This is the little blue line. Your take profit is this little green line, and your stop loss is this orange line. So you can see exactly where you are in your trade. And it's told us here. So for this amount of ticks that we're looking for, which is really 100 pips, not 10,000, it's 100. That this is a whole other conversation in itself, this pips thing. But anyways, if I was to risk this amount from here to here, this 100 pips, I'm going to be risking $500 out of my account, which was $99,000. So this is how you manage your risk. You never want to risk more than 1% of your account at one given time, right? So then say we don't like this trade anymore. You can just close it like this, or you click on here and you drag this. You're like, okay, I want to mitigate my risk. So I'm only actually going to risk 28 pips instead. And it tells you you're -9 right now, you know? So you can just play around with this stuff and learn what to do. Say you don't like this, say I want to reverse my position. Right? Now I'm going down. Now I can set my TP here and my stop loss here. So then if it keeps going down, then I'm going to keep going. And then if this is my stop loss, then, you know, whatever. So there's lots of different things you guys can do to come in here, create a demo account, get pressing buttons, all of that stuff. Excuse me. So that's basically how the demo works here. The next thing I'm going to show you is MetaTrader. Because MetaTrader is the next trading platform that everybody needs to use. So this is just a demo account that I've set up here. $100,000. So like I said, there's 100,000 brokers out there. You pick one, you go to their website, sign up, go through their KYC. In the back office, it's going to ask you about downloads. You would download MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader 4, depending on your account, to your PC. Now, they do have it for Mac, but it doesn't work very well. If you're on a Mac, I just suggest that you just go and you get a cheap PC for like $300 or $400 and just start trading on there, because it's going to just be so much easier to run MetaTrader. So if you're on MetaTrader and you're on a Mac, that's something that you can do. You can also technically trade on your phone, you guys. So like lots of people just trade on their phone. I'm a computer person. I trade on my computer. So it's, again, something that's a personal preference thing of what you want to do for your trading, what works for you, all of that stuff. I can look at my phone and manage my trades if I want to. But usually I just focus on this an hour, hour and a half a day, and I just don't have like time to look at my phone about like worrying, oh no, my open trade, no, I don't have time for that. My stress levels are all over the place with children and doing stuff. I don't have time to worry about my open trade, so that's why I'm a scalper. That's what I do, and that's why I'm only on an hour, hour and a half each day. So I find my trades and I get going. So to sign up, usually you'd go to their website and sign up for a demo account and then sign in. But for reference purposes, say you have a MetaTrader on your computer, you can just click onto File and click onto Open an Account and just go through all their prompts. It's just going to ask you to put in your phone number, your email, and verify who you are, basically. And then it's going to open up this account. It's going to say, okay, you have this much free money to play with. And then you have your symbols. So your chart will probably look a little bit different. I think originally this comes over here, but I've just moved it down here. You can move all these windows however you like it. Your chart is also going to look completely different. So you click on the properties down here and a little window will pop up. And you can customize all of this stuff. So you can see it as a candlestick chart, a line chart, a bar chart, whatever you want. I'm a candlestick person because we do price action. So this stuff, I just kind of left it as it is. And now the things that I want to see in here is usually just, I have my bid and my ask line. That's what I like to see, both of these lines, bid and ask. And all that is your spread. So when you're on MetaTrader, you have a spread. Your broker has two numbers that it uses of where it enters you in the market. If you are buying this market, it's going to put you like at the higher point. If you're selling this market, it's going to put you at the lower point. And why that is it's a way for the broker to make money. So you will have to pay a 2 or 3 pip spread, basically. So say you got 50 pips. 53 of those pips, or 3 of those pips would have gone to the broker. The other 50 would go to you, right? Or 47 would go to you. So that's how they make their money. You can have brokers that will give you really low spreads. You can have brokers that have no spread. It just depends if you have a standard account or a professional account. Again, just something to go in kind of the rabbit hole of brokers of which one's going to work for you and what they can offer you that you like. They also have different promos and stuff like that. They'll give you bonuses, all that stuff. So you got to do a lot of research there of which one you think is going to work for you. And then other than that, you just change the colors. So I wanted these colors. I like it being cotton candy colors. I don't know why. That's just always been my trading vibe. It's cotton candy. So you just kind of set that up like that. Then you have a whole bunch of indicators you can add to. So you can click on to insert, click on indicators, add whatever kind of thing. So the ones that I have on my chart right now that you guys can see, this orange line, red line, blue line, all those are moving averages. And they're just set up to the kill shot moving averages. So I can compare on these charts with my trading view. So I make sure that I have the proper entry when we're trading with Jay on the calls or when I'm taking my own trades. Just depends what I'm doing, right? So then they have objects. You can have your vertical line, trend lines. You have all of those same things. Fibonacci's, Elliott waves, different shapes, arrows. So it's kind of like TradingView, but it's MetaTrader 5. So then they have a whole bunch of other features. Also, there's like depth of market. There's this little window that pops out here, and that's going to be your like auto trader. You can go through and change whatever it is that you want in here. Say you have put all these EMAs on here, you've saved the chart the way that you like it, click on Save Template. So then any time that you come on here and the chart is any different, you just go Load Template and it loads the exact same chart that you had on last time, right? So I just have mine saved as KS And anytime it's different, I just click on that and it changes it back to the right spot. They also have ways that you can see the volumes. I don't really care about that, so I don't have it on. They have other tools also. They have different strategy managers, EAs, other indicators, 100 million other things that you can think about when you're trading. Again, don't get shiny object syndrome and just focus on like less is more at the beginning. So don't go too far deep on these things yet. Also, new order window, that's going to be how you place your trade. So that would be a good thing to click on now. So say I wanted to click a trade on. This window will pop up, or I have this right here so I can set my lot size. So say my broker is $1 per pip. So every 0.01 lot size that I use, it's going to move $1 per pip. If I put a 0.02, it would be $2 per pip. Or if I put a 0.5, it'd be $50 per pip. So you have to know what your broker charges per pip to know what your lot size is. Then you can click onto market execution or pending order. So if we're on our pending orders with J, buy stop, sell stop, this is all we do. We plug that in, put in your lot size that you want, and then find the price that you want to go in at. So say I'm looking for this to be a buy stop. Okay, so at 4443, which I'll just make a whole number, I want this thing to enter me into the market. And I'm going to put this as like this. So as you heard the little sound, now I have little lines on my chart. So I have just placed a trade. It is not live yet. It is a buy stop. So it is waiting to activate. When the candles come up here and pass this green line, I'm going to get pulled into the market. If it comes back down, then I'm going to be in drawdown. If it keeps going up, then I'm going to be in profit. So you basically just sit and wait, depending on what your strategy is. If this was us at open, say it was like, you know, a couple minutes to open, we'd just be sitting here waiting for this to take advantage. You can then see this down here. So you see it says buy stop on gold for the amount that I wanted it to be with the parameters that I want. And then it'll show you what the current thing is. You can also click onto profit here and, oh, it doesn't change it for me. Weird. Okay, never mind. Normally you can change this so it'll show you in, weird. Show you in pips instead of in P&L. So the reason why we like to do that, it just tells you, I'm 50 pips in profit instead of it being like I'm $500 in profit, because it's easier for your mind to be like, okay, I'm looking for this many pips. How many pips am I at? So one of the other things that is nice is you can drag to modify this. So as you can see, this, if it hit my profit level, it would give me $8 of profit, or 600 points, it says. So 60 pips. You can move this, and it's going to tell you on the left there exactly how much profit and how many points you're going to make if that trade hits. And sometimes this one-click trading agreement comes up and it just tells you about all the one-click trading. And then basically you just wait. Okay, say I want a different a stop loss. Okay, I'm gonna risk that 53 pips. Okay, so say you want to move the trade altogether, you just click this green line, it'll move all the lines. So okay, when the market comes back up over this candle, it's gonna enter me, you know, and you just kind of sit and wait. You can move this anytime. You're like, okay, actually I don't like this trade, I'm gonna change it to up here. So when it moves past this level of support or resistance, then I'm going to get into it then. So there's lots of ways that you can use these different platforms to understand how to place your trade and all of those things. You can again change the amount of time on the chart. So instead of looking at each candle as 1 minute, you can look at them as 5 or 15. You can draw your different shapes. They also have algo trading, so you can find different algorithms to follow on your broker. They have different trade signals. All of that kind of stuff can be found inside of your broker. So I think for now, that's all that I'm really going to show you guys. But one other thing I wanted to invite you guys to tomorrow, it's kind of last minute, but I wanted to invite you guys to our open call. So I was just going to stream again here on YouTube, just like I am right now. But you guys can come do our live trading with us. I will put up my screen so you guys can see what Jay is trading and we can follow along. So my homework for you guys tonight is to get yourself set up with a demo account. Whether that's MetaTrader 4 or whether that's TradingView, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. But find a broker, find a demo account, get into that demo account, and get DJ30 or US 30, however you want to say it, or whatever your broker has as it's available, because it again has a whole bunch of different names: Dow Jones, DJ30, DJI, yeah, all those different ones, Dow Jones Industrial Index, right? So find a broker that's going to let you trade that, get that demo account set up, and then tomorrow meet me back here. It's going to be at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we met today at noon, so 6 hours earlier. We'll have 2 calls tomorrow so you guys can see, and we can kind of discuss more about it. But meet me here, be back with your account, and you guys can try to trade the open with us. We're going to be setting up that stop again. So when you're doing the stops, we go click on a trading here, new order, and then when this pops up here like this, you click pending order, buy stop, sell stop, and then put in your parameters. He's going to show on his chart here. Let me show you on TradingView what he's going to do. He's going to be on here with one of these different little boxes, this red-green box. So he'll have it more set up like this. Here. Okay, so say we're waiting for a pullback. He's going to have the thing like this here. And he says, okay, once the market gets up to the blue, you're going to set your pending order, so then when it continues down past this red, you're going to take your profit level. It'll be 50 and 50, just like this. And this is basically all we do. So come tomorrow morning to the call, try to follow along with us, ask some questions, and kind of see how we trade and see if it's something that you like. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So we're going to go into what is kill shot. We're going to tell you exactly what all these things on this chart mean and why the signal would have been good or why it would have been bad, or how you could have joined it since the rules technically said no. So we'll go over that in more detail tomorrow afternoon at 12. But tentatively, let's meet at 6. And then I'll send you guys all the links to your DMs for those of you who I've been chatting with. And if not, I'll see you guys here again at 6 tomorrow, okay? So thank you all for coming and chatting with me today. I really appreciate it. And other than my one little hiccup, I feel like that worked really well. So hopefully tomorrow it'll work just as good. And we'll be able to chat more about what exactly is kill shot, how does kill shot work, all of that stuff, how you can get access, and yeah, everything about Jay too, because Jay is the creator. So I'll tell you guys all about that kind of stuff, and we'll go from there. Okay, enjoy your day. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m.